Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the FPL Duo. Back again for another stream. This one's the Kneejerk reaction stream, as always on a Sunday evening. We're going to look and discuss Game Week 35 and also look ahead to Game Week 36 as well. But yeah, how's your weekend going so far, Jordan?
Yeah, it's not been great in terms of FPL like last weekend, but it's been very eventful in terms of obviously the top five. Yeah, it's been interesting results. Just seen the one just now, which we will discuss. But yeah, it's been a roller coaster of a week.
Yeah, I'll discuss my team. Cool, I'll go first. So that's my team on the screen, guys. I've Raya in goal. Again, Arsenal conceded as expected. I think we all said it probably wouldn't be a clean sheet. That's why I benched Saliba and played Konsa instead. But yeah, Arsenal lose that game as well, 2-1 against Bournemouth. And yeah, no clean sheet there. A lot better in the back three so far. So Konsa, who I played ahead of Saliba, because I wasn't sure about Arsenal, he did pick up a clean sheet, Aston Villa. So I was very happy about that one. What was the score again in the Villa game? Was it 1-0? I think it was, wasn't it? Tielemans scored.
Yes, it was 1-0 from Tielemans in that game against Fulham.
Against Fulham, yeah. So yeah, nice to see Konsa get the 6-pointer. I think he had bonus as well, but then dropped out the bonus late on, which was a bit annoying. But yeah, Vardiol, another one, excellent from him again. Got me 2 bonus points and the clean sheet, so 8 points from Vardiol. So sort of saving my team, I feel like, this week. But yeah, nice return from him. Munoz plays tomorrow night in that big game against Forest, where Forest need to win now, especially with Chelsea winning, applying a bit of pressure on Forest. It should be an interesting one tomorrow evening. In the midfield, again, nothing really to shout about. Salah blanked in that one. I thought Salah could have had an assist, maybe should have had an assist with a cross into Nunez, sort of a free header. Nunez just completely got it wrong. So Salah maybe could have had an assist. But all in all, I don't think Liverpool were great today. I think definitely you can tell a bit of the foot is off the gas with the title now wrapped up. They just didn't look the same. And yeah, it was sort of expected. You see the lineup, it was a rotated team as well. And the likes of Kwanzaa, Elliott getting their first minute, Endo. But yeah, a blank for Salah. Saar plays tomorrow night again, so we'll see how he does. And Mbumo, surprisingly, only got an assist when Brentford scored 4 goals. So that was a surprise. I feel a bit lucky because I was worried when my captaincy pick failed that Mbumo would get a lot more. But 5 points, I've definitely got away with it, I think. I didn't watch the game, but yeah, happy that Mbumo didn't get too much in that one. And then Rodgers, again, another blank. Aston Villa did win 1-0, so wasn't involved. But yeah, 3 points, not really much to shout about there in the midfield. And the attack didn't pay off either because I captained Marmoush. He went and blanked on Friday evening in the 1-0 win against Wolves, Man City. So yeah, nothing really to say there as well. I regret it straight after. I was close. Marmoush and Mbumo. Obviously, Mbumo did outscore him by a couple of points, but could have been a lot worse. Mateta again playing tomorrow night, and Isak did score back to getting a return. I feel like he's been without a goal for a few weeks, Isak, but he gets the penalty, and yeah, he puts it away, and then I think he got bonus points as well. So yeah, 9-pointer. Can't complain too much for Isak. I think that was his first goal actually. I'm just gonna have a look. Oh, sorry, no, he scored against Ipswich, but it feels like before that. I don't know. It feels like he hasn't returned much recently, but yeah, 9-pointer from Isak. And then in the bench, Areola, Savinho, Burn, and Saliba all blanking pretty much as well. So all in all, I'm on 38 points, I believe. But I still have 3 players left to play, so it could be a green arrow for me still, depending on how Palace and Bournemouth, Palace and Forest get on. So we'll have to wait and see on that one.
Wicked.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not been a great week. Let's move on to your team then. Tell us how you got on.
Yeah, that's not really much better than obviously a Huss's team. As you can see, starting off with goalkeeper Pickford in goal. No clean sheet for him. That was an interesting game to watch because Everton were 2-0 up during that game and they managed to concede 2, making it a draw against Ipswich. So, yeah, very surprising for Everton. Normally, when they are ahead, they never really concede 2 goals and sort of lose the win. But yeah, it did happen. Although Pickford did make 3 saves in that game, earning him a point, but he also lost a point for the goals he conceded, which were 2. So no clean sheet, just a save point, and only 2 points in total from Pickford this week. Moving on to the back three. Now, this looked a bit daunting until obviously Hoyson, who we'll start with, scored a header from Semenyo's long throw into the Arsenal box. And yeah, I was over the moon when I saw this obviously happening, and quite delighted he managed to score a goal because there was no clean sheet for them there, as Arsenal did score, but Bournemouth did get the win in the end, which is massive in terms of Arsenal, especially when they played their strong 11. Considering Bournemouth have beaten them back to back now in the season, that's a big win for Bournemouth. But yeah, massive for Hoyson getting the 8 points, and I believe no bonus, just the 8 points from the goal he scored and the minutes he played. Obviously, Milenkovic plays tomorrow against Crystal Palace away. Big game for Nottingham Forest as well for the top 5. We'll have to wait and see what happens in that game. And then finally, Mikolenko completes the back 3. He got 0 points. He got a yellow card, and because he conceded 2 goals as well, there were 2 points taken off of him. So he only finishes on 0 points, which gives me nothing in return for my team. So moving on to the midfield 4, where it's pretty quiet this week. We spoke about Rodgers not involved in the goal that Aston Villa scored, but he did get a clean sheet point. In total, 3 points from him. It's not a surprise, if I'm honest, to see Salah with 2 points, as I don't think that's just down to complacency. That was also down to obviously Liverpool because of celebration from for winning the Premier League. I think they were literally still recovering from that. In moments in that game, they looked like they were a bit
drunk.
Yeah, some of the players' facial expressions and body language. But yeah, it's a big win for Chelsea, obviously winning 3-1 against Liverpool. Another blank from Salah. Moving on to the captain. So in Burmo, this is absolute criminal that in Burmo only got an assist in this game, considering the game ended 4-3 in the end. It was a mad game to watch as it unfolded. It almost looked like Man United were going to somehow get back into that game near the end, but it did end 4-3. In Burma only getting an assist. Surprisingly, I think Shard scored 2 goals and Norgard got an assist as well. So yeah, it's I think people are very lucky that in Burma only got an assist, which is a 10-pointer for the captaincy. And then finally, to complete the midfield is Barnes with 2 points. I thought in that game, he had moments here and there, Barnes, but only half chances, not really much, anything significant. It was interesting, though, that he played 90 minutes because Gordon got substituted on for Murphy instead. Normally, we see Barnes get taken off for him, but I'm glad he obviously played 90 minutes, but unfortunately, no attacker return from obviously that game. And then moving on to the front 3, we've got Isak, who after 3 penalty shouts, they finally got a penalty Newcastle, which Isak did score. Rewarded him with the goal and obviously the bonus 3, even though it was a draw against Brighton. Still important, I think, for Newcastle to get a point in terms of Champions League. But yeah, it was not a great performance from Newcastle, but nice return from Isak. Marmoush, on the other hand, who was going to be my captain until I switched it to Mbermo. I'm glad I did now because Marmoush did blank. I think Kevin De Bruyne was the player to score the only goal against Wolves. And yeah, quiet from Marmoush, although Harden was seen on the bench, which might be interest to some people in the next game.
Yeah.
And then finally Cunha with 2 points from obviously the game he played against Marmoush. They didn't score, so only a blank from Cunha. And pretty much on the bench, Flecken with 1 point. On Gaz, I didn't play him over Pickford. And 8 with 2 points. Obviously, no clean sheet for him. And left on the bench is Sarr and Munoz, who play tomorrow against Nottingham Forest. Hopefully, they don't get anything significant there from the bench. So far, it's a small green arrow of 20k. I think that's changed by now. I don't think that will remain the same. Obviously, because there's still some players left to play, but at the current moment, 40 points with a small green arrow.
Yeah, not a great week so far, but I still have 3 left, so I'm hopeful I can still get a green if Palace win. But yeah, let's move along to game week 36. I'll just share my screen. It's very hard to pick players, at this stage of the season because again, you don't know what teams are going to turn up and rotation. But this is the team.
That's what I found very hard on the deadline to pick what player.
1 second. Oh, there you go. So in goal. Sorry, Jordan, I can hear myself back on your mic. I think can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, I think it's fine now. I could hear myself back. I don't know why. Through my headphones.
Feedback.
So in goal, I've got Raya, who's got Liverpool away. I might not even play him. I might just play Areola, who's got Man United away. But again, I don't expect clean sheets for either goalkeeper. But yeah, that's the situation. Back 3, I've got Vardiol against Southampton. I've got Munoz against Tottenham, and I've got Konsa against Bournemouth. On the bench, I do have Dan Burn and Saliba, but I think I'm going to stick with the 3 you see on the screen. In the midfield 4, I've got Sarr against Spurs. Salah has Arsenal. Rodgers has Bournemouth, and then Burmo has Ipswich away. Captaincy is on Burmo against Ipswich at the moment. We'll have to see if I change it. And then up front, I've got Marmoush against Southampton, Mateta against Spurs, and Isak against Chelsea. Now, yeah, I mean, I've got 1 free transfer. Looking at my team, I could make a move. I don't really want triples Palace against Spurs, even though Spurs aren't doing great. I mean, they got a draw today against West Ham. I think it could be the time to switch out a Palace player. One thing that does interest me is Haaland. Haaland being back in now. If Haaland starts against Southampton, he could be a great differential captaincy pick even. Maybe captaining Haaland this week. So, yeah, that's one thing to watch. But in terms of what my moves are, I don't actually know what I want to do. Currently, I think Sarr or Mateta could go out the team, depending on how they do on Monday night. If Palace look good on Monday night and Mateta scores and stuff, then I might just keep Mateta for another week. But for now, it's probably going to be one of the Palace attack. I don't want to have double Palace attack, I think. So I don't know who I'd buy either. Maybe, I mean, who do you think, Jordan, we should be targeting, like, to be different now with fixtures, the type of fixtures that are left as well?
Yeah, because I think you most likely want to be targeting the teams, obviously, that have something left to play for, like Newcastle, Chelsea, even Arsenal could possibly be an option now because they need at least 4 points to secure CL qualification. Also Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest. So that is definitely the direction I think we need to be going in for in terms of players. And I mean, for those players, I mean, if you say for Arsenal, maybe a Trossard, they go a bit different, in terms of significance. In terms of
maybe a Chris Wood, because Chris Wood has Southampton, is it next, or Southampton in game week? Sorry, not Southampton, Leicester.
Leicester.
Game week 36.
Yeah, I
Leicester
think for that fixture, Leicester, even not the Forest defender like Milenkovic could be great for a clean sheet there. I mean, even the likes of Palmer, who did score a penalty today after his 12-week goal drought.
I think 18 games, I think, without a goal for Palmer, which is mad.
Yeah, significant amount of game. Although he did almost score from open play.
He hit the post, I think.
Bounced, hit the post and went out. So he could have had 2 against Liverpool. So he could not be completely ruled out bringing into your team either, especially with the money.
Who have Chelsea got next?
They got a big
Newcastle
game.
away. I think it's a tough game.
Yeah. I think it's a great game though, because both of these teams have a lot to play for.
Yeah.
They're both going to go for it. I think there is some incentive to go for players from either side of the team for that game.
Yeah, that's a massive win for Chelsea today, because if they didn't win today, going away to Newcastle and then Man United and then Nottingham Forest, Chelsea as well, final game of the season, which is again interesting because they'll both be battling it out. So massive 3 points today for Chelsea.
Yeah, because I believe as well, what's separating Chelsea Newcastle at the moment is literally goal difference, because they're both on 63 points. Even their goal difference is on 21 as well. So yeah, this is a massive game for them. If one or the other wins that could potentially mean one of them.
That's a 6-pointer, really.
Yeah, that separates the difference between them two, unless they draw.
Yeah, I think Newcastle will. I don't think Newcastle will lose, so I do see a positive result for Newcastle, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it will be interesting for sure. But yeah, in terms of other fixtures, I'll just share the screen with you. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Oh, let me zoom in for a bit. Sec. These are sort of the fixtures left now. It's not really much. Obviously, not long left. But we'll go through fixtures in a second. Let's take a few comments. Denver says, evening, chaps, any differentials for the next 2 weeks? Haaland is one, I think, for captaincy next week. It could be interesting, especially if he starts.
I do like, this ain't really full purpose of anything, but Brentford, I do like the player Shard as differential. Okay. I think he was really good.
With 2 goals today, right?
Yeah, against Man United, he looked really sharp, really good, very attacking, more attacking than, like you could say, Wissa and Burma were in that game, because he had so much freedom to run into the box and be more attacking. But yeah, I do favour Shard for Ipswich away as the next fixture too, and even Fulham.
Shaq's evening, guys. 51 points with Munoz, Eze, and Mateta to play. Assistant manager chip activated and played it on Guardiola. Probs leave it on him and concentrate transfers on players. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan and a good score as well this week. And yeah, having a good season at 38k overall. Yeah, looking at the fixtures, Arsenal, Liverpool next, which is again an interesting game. Again, that interested to see what happens there, because both teams don't really have anything to play for in the league. I mean, Arsenal probably do more than Liverpool, because Arsenal still need points just to secure that top 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a bit of to play for with Arsenal with losing that game against Bournemouth.
Yeah. And this is fundamentally important. This also depends on whether they win the second leg against PSG, because if they don't, then the only thing that leaves really is Arsenal securing that Champions League spot in the Premier League.
Yeah,
that is literally the only thing they will need to focus on then. And then maybe that changes the aspect on the strong 11 for Arsenal now being played like we saw against Bournemouth.
Yeah, Arsenal play PSG on Wednesday, so if they get knocked out, we'll have to see. They'll probably go strong against Liverpool. They'd want to beat Liverpool, I think, especially with the way the season's gone. Obviously, Liverpool winning the league. I definitely think Arsenal would want to get a win here. But Newcastle at home is again tough one for Arsenal with Newcastle's record against them recently. And Southampton away is a nice game if you're on a free hit. Maybe Southampton is a team you target Arsenal players. Maybe 2 or 3 Arsenal players could be good, for that last game. Villa, I think, are a decent team to target. Still, I don't know. I think Rodgers is a fine pick, but don't want to have too many of their players, I don't think. Bournemouth would probably don't want to bring anyone else in from there. Brentford, we've mentioned, Wissa is the one you can go for. Sharda, as we said as well. And Bumo is still a great pick. I know today he didn't sort of score, but Ipswich away is a great fixture for Bumo, for those that don't have him. Brighton, probably avoid their players. Chelsea is an interesting one because they've got some tough games. Newcastle and Forest away are tough. and then got Man United at home, sandwiched between that. Again, Chelsea need to get top 5, so they'll be going and giving everything they can to get the top 5. So you could get a Palmer in potentially, because he's sort of their main player. Obviously, got the penalty today, but he did play well. So we'll see how Palmer does. Palace, I'm looking to avoid their players probably at this stage. And you can keep 1 or 2 of them, like maybe Mateta or a Sarr could be fine, but you don't want to have too many, I don't think. Everton, not keen on the players, to be fair. Southampton's quite nice, but
you know what? I wouldn't mind a punt on Beto in Southampton at home.
Fairs.
I think he'd be a good punt.
Yeah, 37 game week. Fulham probably avoid. Ipswich avoid. Leicester again, you probably avoid. Obviously relegated already. Liverpool, I probably would avoid as well. Like bringing in Liverpool player right now. I think if you've got Salah, I still think you keep Salah. But whether you captain Salah is a different question now, I think, because Liverpool don't have that fight. They're not really playing for anything. It's just, it's essentially 3 preseason games for them now. So whether they're going to go all out to get a win, I don't see it. So I think definitely you can go against Salah in captaincy wise.
Do you think it's worth keeping Salah then if you're not going to captain him for the rest of the season?
It's a conversation to be had. I would keep him because I don't see where you spend that money. Maybe Haaland's now fit. You might want to sell Salah to get Haaland in, but I'm just going to keep Salah. I still think if Liverpool get a pen, and Liverpool have just lost today, will they want to lose again? And it's Anfield. Will they want to lose back to back? I still think Liverpool play a fairly strong team against Arsenal. Like, I know they rotated quite heavily today, but I think back against Arsenal, they're probably playing a strong team. They'll probably rotate against Brighton, play a similar team to today. And then against last game of the season, they'll probably go fairly strong again. But yeah, in terms of captaincy against Salah, I definitely think you can back against Salah now because there's other players are fighting for a Champions League spot now, like Kneejerk or those teams, even Man City assets with Haaland, who I think is popular if he's fit and he's confirmed to start. Because you look at Man City coming on to Southampton away. If you've got Haaland, I think it's a good captaincy shout this week. Kevin De Bruyne, Marmoush, if he starts. And Man City also have a bit to play for, obviously getting top 5. They look like they will get it with the fixtures when you compare that to Newcastle and Nottingham Forest and Chelsea playing against each other. But yeah, Southampton, Bournemouth at home, 2 nice games. You'd expect at least 6 points from there. Maybe they draw or lose 1. That should be enough for City to go through. Man United, I'd probably avoid all their players, if I'm being honest, because they're in the Europa League final. That's everything for them now. Win that, and then they'll sort of forget this season in a sense. But yeah, I'd avoid the United assets. Newcastle, on the other hand, I think I want to get your thoughts on Newcastle because you look at their 3 games, they're not easy, the next 2 especially. What do you think?
No, not easy, but again, it's something to play for. Definitely Newcastle one's to target still. The likes of Murphy, Barnes, Isaac, even Gordon, who also won the penalty today, who fundamentally got the penalty to get the draw. So even he played an important part in that, even though he substituted on for a few minutes. So yeah, I think definitely including Newcastle players till the end of the season.
Yeah.
Even a triple up is still worthwhile.
Yeah, you don't want to get rid of Newcastle because they are, one of the teams that have something to fight for. Same with Forest. I don't actually have any Forest players, which could be a bad idea with them playing Leicester at home. So having one Forest attacker this week isn't a bad shout. I still think Forest probably just about get top 5 because the next 2 look favourable. You'd expect them to win these games against Leicester and West Ham. Chelsea at the end of the season could be interesting if it's tight, if they all need to get a point or, that's a very interesting game in the end of the season. And then obviously Southampton, Spurs we avoid because they're not really playing for anything. West Ham and Wolves, you still could include Acuna, even though, Wolves can't really get relegated, but some fixes are decent. They could get goals in these Brighton, Palace and Brentford games. So yeah, I don't hate those fixtures at all, and I don't mind holding Cunha. But yeah, this part of the season, obviously, there's a lot especially game week 38, it's so hard to call, you know. And even today, you saw Liverpool. Liverpool are one of the teams that have something wrapped up. And that's the case with a lot of these teams, like Spurs, Man United, etc. Can't get relegated. They can't get Europe. So you saw Man United line up today, you know, rotating a lot of players. That's going to happen, and that's going to cause, you know, you want to get players ideally from teams that will play 90 minutes. What do you think of this comment, Jordan? Triple captain in Bumo against Ipswich.
Oh, I don't know with this one in Burma v Ipswich.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to tell with Ipswich because whenever a team plays it, sometimes it goes in the favour of the team they play against, but sometimes, like we saw this week, Ipswich fought back against Everton, which I never saw coming really when I saw 2-0, and then somehow it was 2-2. But yeah, I think it's still a nice one. I think for Burmo, or even Wissa. I think I prefer slightly Wissa, triple captain, but you want to go Burmo just in case he has a penalty.
Yeah, so I don't mind Mbomo triple captaincy. It's one of those games that could pay off. I know he didn't score today, but we've seen Mbomo throughout the season get big hauls. So I wouldn't let that put you off triple captain, because I might captain Mbomo this week. If we can get team leaks or news about Haaland, then I do like Haaland as a shout. But yeah, other than that, I'm not sure who else you'd go for. What's your bus team looking like, Jordan? Just bear with me while I put.
Yeah, sure. I'll switch over to the other screen and you can see what my team is set up like. So here we go.
Sorry about that, guys. Just have to get my charger. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
1 second. I can't hear you guys.
Oh, we good?
Yep. All good, I think.
Sweet.
Yeah,
So,
all good. Sorry about that.
That's all good. This is the current team for game week 36. So in goal, I have Pickford, who has Fulham away. I might be tempted to play Flecken instead of Pickford this week, just to be. Obviously, I brought Flecken in for the reasoning of a bench boost, but because he has a slightly better fixture, I'll play him instead of Pickford.
Are you bench boosting this week, by the way?
Maybe. I'm not 100% certain.
I would. I think I would do it this week, because the longer you leave it, honestly, there's going to be a lot more rotation, I think, because having double Palace against Spurs is not a bad idea, I don't think.
Yeah, it is a good setup, I think, to have double Crystal Palace with all the features they have. So you'll have to see on deadline what I do with it. I think it'll come to that moment, because they're still in discussion over a potential double. But again, that's free hit for me, not really the bench boost. I really just want to get out of the way. So we'll see. But with the current back three, it's Huijsen, Milenkovic, and Mikalenko with relatively nice fixtures. Milenkovic having the best one, and obviously Huijsen and Mikalenko having the average ones, which I don't expect a clean sheet in, but I'm hoping Mikalenko can get one there for me. In terms of the midfield four, there's Rodgers, Salah, Mbeumo, and Barnes, which I'm happy to have Newcastle assets for the reasons we discussed. They got Chelsea. Both will be fighting to literally the death to get those 3 points over one or the other. There's a level on goal difference and points, so I think they're definitely important to include. Obviously, Mbeumo has a nice fixture, potential candidate for captaincy. Salah, which Liverpool in a complacent sort of mood, has Arsenal at home. Not sure really what to make of that, but yeah, it's a very passive one, having Salah now that Liverpool have got Premier League, and Arsenal again are still fighting for that CL qualification security. And then obviously Rodgers has Bournemouth away, which I think is a tough game for Aston Villa, especially when it looks like now they were pushed out of the CL qualification if they don't get a win against Bournemouth. So that again, massively important. And yeah, I think still having Rodgers is still good to have. And then moving on to the front three of Isak, Marmoush, and Cunha. currently the captain is on Cunha. If you remember in the reverse fixture against Brighton, it was 2-2. I think Cunha did score a goal in that game as well. And hence why I've decided to captain him over Marmoush, who has a nice fixture against Southampton away. I just think I prefer Cunha, who most of the time does score for most of the goals for Wolves. And with Marmoush being a bit quiet in recent game weeks, I'm not a fan of captaining him against Southampton away, even though the fixture is really nice. And obviously you got Isaac, who's got Chelsea at home, got a penalty, and got the draw today in today's game against Brighton. And then obviously on the bench is Pickford, Sarr, Munoz, and Aït-Nouri, which this is the contemplation on the bench boost to bench boost. That isn't a bad one, if I'm honest, especially for the Crystal Palace assets, where I think that's where the points will come from. That's most likely the direction I'm going in is a bench boost. But yeah, you have to wait and see come closer to the deadline stream.
Yeah, because even if you free hit, I mean, you could take out a Salah on a free hit. Potentially, you could take out.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do with a free hit because there's not really triple up on Brentford, maybe Wissa and Shard and someone like that.
Yeah.
Against Ipswich.
I think with the players I've got at the moment, because let's say you got Rodgers, Isaac, Marmoush, Mbeumo, Barnes, and Milenkovic all have something to play for in that team. So there's a lot of majority I wouldn't want to change in the squad.
Yeah.
Maybe
so might as well bench boost.
Then yeah, the best thing would be to bench boost.
Yeah.
Debating whether to play the free hit either in 37 or 38, because I think there's nicer fixtures for teams in 38 like Bournemouth.
Yeah.
I could go triple Bournemouth, for example, who have a nice fixture.
Yeah, I'm looking at 37. Bear with me. 37, I would probably free hit in 38 if I were you, because you can get triple Arsenal against Southampton, you can get triple Bournemouth against Leicester as well, and then you can get West Ham. So I probably would save it now to 38 and then bench boost this week.
Yeah, that's probably what the plan is going to be to do going forward. Bench boost this week and free hit in either 37 or 38.
All right. I think that's everything then for this stream. Pretty much covered. We will probably have another stream out heading into game week 36. Transfers wise, I mean, you're most likely gonna bench boost, right? Are you gonna do any transfers this week?
I possibly might bring Guardiola for either Mikalenko or Huijsen.
Interesting. So you think clean sheet for Man City now, yeah?
Yeah, if there's normally Southampton score against teams, but I have faith in Man City that they don't do that, just because they got something to play for and they want a clean sheet. So yeah, maybe a Guardiola.
Yep. Okay. Fair enough. But that's it, guys. If you've enjoyed the content, hit the like button, stay subscribed, hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. And yeah, we will see you again on the next one. And have a good bank holiday Monday.
Yeah, enjoy bank holiday, guys. Take care and see you soon.